Galimara, Galispera, whatever time you are watching, this is Mappa. I'm Stel, and my guest, wow, this guy I've known for a few years now. Love the guy to bits. He's my brate. Love him. Boris Bjelcanovic. Boris, how you doing, bro?
Hi, Stel. Hi, Stel. Nice to see you, man. As I told you off the record, a long time no see, but yeah, lives go very fast, and it was cool to see you. And let's talk about football a little bit. Let's see what's happening. As I told you, I was like, I'm a little bit excited because I met my old teammate Bjelkanovic. We used to play together in Cyprus. Like we tried to refresh the memory. It was like 13, 14 years ago in golden age of APEP Pichilas. And
Yep.
it was cool to refresh some memories. And then you told me like, let's talk about that. And I said, yeah, I think it's a good timing. Since yesterday, I'm on, I think, on well-deserved holiday. We had like a very, very intensive season here in Sweden in Malmo FF, both in academy and A team um, schedule. So I think it's a good timing, and I will be happy to chat with you a bit.
Thank you, bro. And before we talk about your football career, do you want to just tell our listeners what your role is at Malmo? Because you just mentioned what you're doing. But in terms of your job role itself, what does that involve?
Yeah, exactly. I'm a professional, full-time professional in Malmo FF, and I'm working in academy. I have like my job is like has three roles. I would say like I'm a coach. I'm a coach. Like in the morning, I do some individual sessions with our or individual approach with our under 16 players. After afternoon, I have my own team. I'm a coach. I'm a head coach in under 12, and besides that, I'm doing like scouting around 25% of my time, and networking. I'm a contact person, and we used to try to do some kind of knowledge exchange and traveling when a team is playing some European games. Try to meet the representatives of other academies in Europe and stuff like that. Pretty intensive, but it's football. It's something I love, and seems it means I enjoy it.
Sounds like it, mate. Sounds like it. And you mentioned the networking and meeting other academies throughout Europe. What is the main goal when it comes to the networking?
Exactly. This is something I really uh, got familiar when I came in Malmo in Sweden. Like I'm coming from Balkan, and it's still like we are most for ourselves. We don't want to share our knowledge. But when I came to, or maybe it's my point of view. I cannot generalize it, but. My feeling, but when I came to Sweden and when I started to work in Malmo FF, now it's almost like 5 years, and then I see they are very open society. Actually, they open, and they are not afraid to say, okay, we would like to learn. We know we have some good things. We think these kind of things are working for us. But is there anything like we can learn? Is it anything we can share? So we are very involved in the international football conference. We are starting to expand our networks, and it can be a simple meeting where I, as an under 12 coach, meet under 12 coach of Athletic Bilbao, and we try to see what is their methodology, how they try to educate, develop own players, what we do. Of course, each environment is different. Sweden is different than Spain. Sweden is different than Cyprus, but doesn't mean we cannot do it. We cannot implement some good things they have, or opposite. They can just do same with us. So I'm very involved in our foundational phase, like let's say from 9 to 12, where we have a obvious kind of style of playing, how we train, how we play the games, how we lead the team, and how we do like our cooperation with the other clubs, locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally. So quite intensive program, I would say, but quite simple on the other way, because we know what we're going to do. We have a education plan. We have planned how to develop our players, because of course, like our aim is like to educate players who are going to play one day in Malmo A team, and of course to sell them further, like 99% of other academies. But what was the difference between when I came to Sweden and my experience from before? Because Sweden and Malmo FF, they're well structured. They have long-term plans, and they have a quite stable budget for that. And I would say it's easy to work there, because you need to do some effort, of course, but you know what to do. You have clear plan and clear structure how to do it.
You mentioned structure.
Yeah.
And there are many successful Swedish clubs, many of them. And we've seen over the years the fantastic players that have come out of Sweden. I mean, you just look at Henrik Larsson, Ibrahimovic, Isak now at Newcastle United. Are most clubs structured in their approach, do you think?
In Sweden?
Yeah.
Now I will just take I will share the fact with you. 6 years in a row, Malmö FF is most successful Swedish academy according to Swedish Elite Football. It's an association who are like doing the certification for all clubs based to UEFA ranking and their classification, and it's a quite exhausting process for all of us, because all those kind of representatives from the Swedish Elite Football are like watching over us, and they are like following us the whole year. They do it like from November to November in Swedish system, and they try to rank, they try to judge everything we do, and then after that they come out with the points. I cannot go in the details. We have a guy who is really working full-time job only with that, but I can tell you how our methodology, our like education, do we have like exact methodology we are working with, how it looks like in theory, but how also it looks in practice. Networking, how many elite players we have today who play minimum 3 years in a Malmö FF and playing like elite football today. Many factors that depends, and Malmö FF it's number one, like 6 years in a row. But I think there are many other good teams as well in Sweden who is doing, like as I said, well structured form methodology in academy, which is like successful, I would say. Like Brommapojkarna, for example, they always produce good players. They always have a good academy teams. Very competitive in Europe as well in this age. Of course, AIK Stockholm, Hammarby, Djurgården, those 4 big teams from Stockholm. Gothenburg and Malmö FF. I would say there is a teams with some kind of names in Europe. What is the difference between us in Malmö? What I realize is a big difference between us in Malmö and maybe the other Stockholm teams is that we don't have like probably competition in this kind of part of Sweden. In Stockholm, like obviously 4 big teams, being competition between them. We don't have any pressure to make results with the kids between 9 and 19. We have only one aim. This is to develop individual players who can be able to play later in the A team. of course, you have to do it as a team. And we don't have any kind of pressure, me as a coach under 12 or my colleague who is under 14, that he need to win championship, he need to win some tournaments. He needs to follow the philosophy, principles, style of play, and this is only what we need. And then, of course, if some of the players are coming to play like senior elite football, then it means we did the job. Of course, we work on winning mentality, because we are aware that Malmo FF is a big team, and our boys and girls are aware that they play in a big team. They do it with a big honor. But we would like to play on our own way. Sometimes it's very frustrating, very difficult, because we have our style of playing is we don't coaching the players when they're on the pitch. We don't give the instruction what to do, pass, shoot, dribble. We just want them to find a solution by themselves, constructive solution. Our players are very, very brave. They do a lot of mistakes, but they learn on mistakes. We never we never do like, okay, you have like only 2 touch, you have 3 touch, you have to play 1 touch here, you have to shoot here. So it can be very difficult, because especially in those young groups, because they're very young, but they listen to the coach, and you need time where player realize, okay, now it's really time. I have to pass. Now it's time to dribble. Now it's time to shoot. But we are not the coaches like, okay, I have to do it. You have to shoot it. You have to pass it. The process of creation is on players' own. Of course, we adapt the exercises that they can find a way, and they can do. Probably they can find the best solutions with time. Of course, then we have a video analyze where you can sit with the players, and then you can tell you, okay, is there anything else you could do here instead of that? So it's not my direct input to the players. You have to dribble, you have to, and this is what I think Malmo is doing very well, and we are really extreme in that. We are our head of methodology and head of coaching is all players of Malmo FF playing Sporting Gijón, and he was a little bit. I think it's of course it's the influence of Spanish football when he would like to play like many ball touch, many combinations and things like that, and he is very extreme in that, and he stayed behind us coaches, and he just said, do like this. We believe in this is our way. We believe that we can educate the best footballers, players who are very comfortable with the ball, players who are going to be able to answer the request of modern footballs later on. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we're doing well, and me as a coach, I believe in our philosophy. As I told you, I believe in philosophy where we give the players a lot of freedom to find their own decisions. In those youngest age, I would say until 14, we don't do so much tactical things. We think to prepare players being like technically able and being like comfortable to play with the ball, comfortable to do mistakes. And later on, when we come to the stages like 13, 14, then the tactical input is going to give them that's what they probably don't do when they are like younger players. So this is our philosophy, this is our style. And I said for the Scandinavian environment, we are doing pretty well. And Malmo, as I said, networking is working well as well. And of course, each year this kind of our program, we call it the Blue Sky Way. We try to adapt. We try to do some correction if needed, and to put new things we learn from others. But still, we believe this is the way we can produce good football players.
Well, it's clearly working for the nation, and I haven't been to Sweden, unfortunately. I'd like to go, but from what I've seen on the television or images, the stadiums are usually full. The fans are superb. You rarely get any trouble. They've produced so many fantastic players, as we mentioned earlier. Then I look at two players, and I'm sidestepping a little bit. Two players have come from Sweden, Brorsson and Bengtsson, who are Aris, who won the title. First of all, how do people in Sweden feel when players with that ability leave to go to Cyprus? Because I'm not trying to disrespect Cyprus here, but the quality of football probably isn't as good as Sweden overall, in my opinion, anyway. And in terms of the infrastructure and all these things that you mentioned with development and the financial side of things. So, what do people feel within the country when they see players such as Bengtsson and Brorsson going to Aris? And granted, they were successful; they won the title this season. It's brilliant, but no disrespect to Aris. I've got no disrespect to them, and I get on with them really well. But Malmo have got history. You're talking about a club that is steeped in European football heritage. And Aris, even though they've been around for 93 years, it's their first title. So you could see the dichotomy, right?
Yeah. I think interesting question, absolutely, but and depends. People from football world, or people who are only fans and supporters, probably has a different kind of picture when it comes to kind of transfer from Malmo to Aris. But if we take the facts, of course, infrastructure in Sweden cannot be compared like with the Cyprus. And this is a kind of society question. Of course, this is the kind of the two different countries. First of all, different kind of investment in the sport, in the football, and everything like that. But still, as I told you before. Watching only the ranking, I think still Cypriot division is ranked better than Swedish division. I don't know why, but I think the logical answer would be because you have more representatives in Europe. You did some better results in Europe. Few years ago, it was only Malmo who was like able to reach some kind of European competition group stage. Last year was Djurgården as well. They did well in Conference League. They qualified to the playoff, and
I think we have a mutual friend there as well, don't we? Christian. Is Christian still there?
Yes, Christian Gentile. He is there.
There
He is doing in an academy. He's my colleague there. They do a pretty good job there as well. It's a big team.
They beat APOEL last season as well. I shouldn't laugh.
So yeah, but I think still like the all problems bothers Cyprus Cypriot football, but still they do some results, and the league is better. And we're gonna look only the football's reason. Probably Aris are paying well as well. Top 2-3 teams in Cyprus, they always pay well. So let's be honest, like if he was like third, fourth choice playing like a central defender in Malmo, he would like to change the team. I think it can Aris in this time can be a good choice for him. And as I said, me as coming from football world, I don't see anything strange. Probably people in Sweden will say, yeah, they would said, yeah, why Cyprus? Why not? But it's not easy. It's not easy to find a team in top 5 league. So sometimes we underestimate a lot other leagues because we don't have actually the clear picture how they play there, which kind of results they are able to do, and how much they can pay at the end.
There you go. Well, I want to sidestep a little bit more, staying with the Sweden theme. Hammarby, their former sporting director Jesper Janssen is now the new sporting director of Omonoia. Now I'm talking on the 23rd of June.
Okay.
And there's any developments might occur at the moment. I don't know if you know the situation, Boris, but Omonia's president resigned last week, and the club is in disarray right now. Jesper was announced, I think, 2 days before the president resigned. No one knows what's happening with the club. The finances are all over the place as a result of this. And I don't know how Jesper will do a job with limited resources if the president keeps his word that he's resigned and he's no longer there. He'll be a shareholder, but in terms of putting money into the club, I don't know what's going to happen. Again, we're in limbo at the moment as a football club. So what can you tell us about Jesper? Do you think he'd be able to cope with minimal resources, or is he the kind of person that will say, this really isn't going to work, is it? So I'm going.
I don't know Jesper personally, but I'm familiar with his work, partially with his work in Hammarby. And Hammarby is a stable club in Sweden, big base of fans, a well-structured academy, stable club in matters of financial, and I can tell this the Swedish people, they're very structured. I think they're not going to take some project where they don't see clear possibility of progress in terms of budget, in terms of idea. I think it will be very very interesting to see how he's going to deal with that, because I think it's two different worlds, working in Sweden and working in Cyprus in matter of footballs. But I just wish him a good luck. And Omonoia, I know Omonoia is a big team, and difficult to me to imagine that they will bankrupt or something like that. But probably they're going to struggle with some transition time now. But I wish them all the best, and I'm just hoping the situation will be fine as soon as possible, so they can move on.
The thing is, we had a similar situation 2016 to 2018, where the club was in a financial mess, and at the time we had another Jesper Fredberg, who's actually at Anderlecht now.
Okay.
And that Jesper was in charge of restructuring the club, and while overnight there weren't immediate results, as we've seen now with the production of many youth players who have either been sold on for good money, like Johnny is, or players that have left to go to, for example, Frankfurt, which was Foddy. A lot of players have come from the Omonoia Academy. So I think this Jesper Janssen's immediate role will be not only to oversee the youth academy and to ensure that it remains a success, but to bring in the right players. Now, as you know, a lot of football fans are very, very impatient. Very impatient. And the moment the transfer window opens and they see other clubs in the league bringing in players and their club isn't doing anything, the first person that's going to be asked questions about is the sporting director. And people are already saying, well, what is he doing? What's his job? Nothing's been done. He's only been there a week. It's bizarre.
People are very impatient. This is especially the people from Mediterranean. I remember
oh yes,
Greece, Cyprus, people in Scandinavia, they're more calm down. Things are going to be well if we have a clear structure and plan, and if we know what we would like to do, if we have a clear idea. Probably the mentality of people and from South Mediterranean part of Europe is more impatient. We would like to have results yesterday, and but yeah, I hope he's going to make it, and till the end the fans will be happy, because we depend on them sometimes about their opinion as well, but they have to give them time, I think. I really hope for best for the Cypriot football, for the Omonoia, and for the guy from Sweden.
There we go. There we go. Right. Let's talk about another guy from Sweden, or someone that's based in Sweden. That's yourself. So you started playing football in Croatia. You then went to Slovenia, if I'm not mistaken, and then you ended up at APEP. Now,
Yeah.
tell us how
was
this happened, because I hear so many stories about players going to Cyprus, and it's just random phone calls from agents or people. How did it happen?
Believe me, it was crazy. I think I used to play already like Croatia first division, and then I do some transfer in Slovenia. I'm like basically the same level. I used to play there 1 year, and then my agent. He's not my agent. He was the guy who helped me with some kind of advice, and before I signed the contracts with the contacts with the other teams, like my good friend of mine, but also the agent, and he told me like, you know what, you have 1 year contract here in Koper in Slovenia, and you're gonna probably play, because this was like the option of the club. I have 1+1, and they just just decided that they're gonna give me they would like to have me one more year, and I was like starting the preparation there for the new season, and just for like 1 week before the championship will start, he told me, you know what, I have one a business partner down there in Cyprus, and he's working with football as well. He's an agent. We never met in personal, but we are like cooperating for 5-6 years, and he's a good guy. And they need one new team in first league. They need like a left central back, left-footed central back. What do you think about it? And I said, look, man, I just started the season start in 1 week. I did preparation here, and what you mean? And he told me, but it would be like good if you just go there. Everything is ready. They know you. I present you. They like you. They see your videos. You know, that time was like video and like CDs and things like that. They really need a guy like you, left-footed. I said, what is the name of the club? And he told me, never heard, of course. And he just told me like, go there, try, see if everything is fine, and then if you don't like it, come back. And this kind of good thing, because I said, okay, I talk with my coach, and if he's going to wait for me, then it's fine. Otherwise, I will. But then coach told me like, why you do this like 1 week before? I don't like it, which is totally fine also. And then I was like, okay, but you know what? I'm not afraid. I'll go there. I have a contract. I have a guarantee from sport director that I can come back. Probably maybe they can get some money for me as well. I don't know, and I'll take the opportunity. I try. Then I went there, and of course nobody knows me so well there. I talked there, and Tasos Kyriakou was the coach. I'm still in contact with him. He told me, yeah, I see you. You look good. But you know what? We have training afternoon, so I would like to see you on the pitch. I knew it. It's some kind of test, of course. What I'm gonna do now is like, if I'm going to injure, I don't have guarantee to come back there and then go. But I said, okay, I'm here. I'm going to do it. And then I do one training, and then I think 2 days after, it was like a friendly game against AEL in the stadium in Limassol.
Syria, yeah.
Yeah, and then I did a good game. I play with Gabor Nagy and the Hungarian central defender as well. We did well, and then they really wanted me to stay. And then we negotiated good conditions for me there. And then like I said, okay, I think I would like to stay as well. And then they just negotiate between the clubs, and they just let me sign in Cyprus. And I'm not sure if they get something for me, maybe not, but it was a good experience. And then I started in Cyprus. I started to play like as a central defender, but then we have a guy from Africa who used to play for one African country, left back, left foot, and he used to injured. And then I used to even play some left left back position, and it was interesting. And in the half season, APEP was struggling, but was still in a good position to stay in division, and we had a good players there as well. And then they needed like striker, and then they do the exchange with Atromitos Geroskipu. Fumo went to APEP, and I went to Paphos to play for Atromitos because I wanted to play more central defender position, and they guaranteed me to play there. So I have a good season. I have around 20 games there, and yeah, I was like kind of exotic experience, I would say, but still I had a great connection, great experience from there. I have some kind of contacts, and I would love to come to see how things are doing now. We will see, but great experience. I play against best teams. As I said, Anorthosis played Champions League this time. APOEL was very strong with Jovanovic as a coach. I remember Zhevlakov played there.
Polish striker,
yeah, Polish striker. The other Polish striker as well, or winger.
Is it Sozin?
Sozin playing Anorthosis. Yeah, he was. I'm a big guy. I used to be very strong in the air, but I remember this guy killed me, and it was like my nightmare there. Then there was Delas there. Delas in Anorthosis.
Yeah, that's right.
And Savio, ex-Real Madrid player. I was like, we played first game in against Anorthosis, and it was like a free kick on 25 meters from the goal, and everybody, yeah, they just started to to like, what's happening? It's only like a free kick. He said, now you're gonna see. Savio took the ball. Like people on the stadium, they already like cheering the goal. I said, what? He just need to shoot. She said, and Jorge Prado told me, oh my God, this is a penalty for him. This is a penalty for him. He just took the ball. 1-0 and one penalty later. 3-0 opening the championship against Anorthosis. It was good. Then we used to play against AEK Larnaca there. I didn't play that game, but we used to win there 0-2.
2-0, wasn't it? Yeah.
2-0, yeah. And I actually had a problem this season. They went down. They were relegated in second division. AEK Larnaca, which is pretty big name there as well. Crazy experience, crazy season. I had some good time in Limassol, in Paphos, and but I think I was too young, and I wanted to go home after, and then I came back to Slovenia after 1 year in Cyprus. So I think it was okay for me to try, but I think I was too young, I think, and I needed a little bit more experience in at home, I think, and then something else. So it was good.
Well, you mentioned difficult opponents, Savio, etc. What was he the main player that stood out for you in terms of ability, or were there other players that you can remember?
As I told you, I remember Anorthosis very well. I remember Omonoia at that time. We played a really good game against them, and I played their left back. The guy who used to play in Energy Cottbus came back home. I don't remember the name, but he's like a legend in Cypriot football. Yes, in terms of intensity, playing away was really, really difficult to take some points, especially for us in APEP, which we had a good players as well. We had Paulo Vogt, who came from Ukraine. I think I was top scorer there. He was a top scorer in Switzerland for a few years. Gelson from Brazil, who also played in Switzerland. So we had a good players there as well, but it was the competition. It was so tough, and I remember we struggled every game playing. We play against Paphos away 1-1. I remember for me was wow. We won a points away against Paphos. We had 1-1 against Omonoia, like 89 minutes. I remember I shoot the post after the Paulos free kick. I was totally alone against the goalkeeper. I was sure I'm going to score now. already see like they have like Chinatown. I was like, first of all, it was crazy. We were in the tunnel, and I was like, boom, boom, boom. I said, wait a minute, we play home, but we never have so much supporters in APEP. Then I just came out and was like, whole the tribune was like green in Limassol, supporters of Omonoia, like, and then I remember the Chinatown. I said because they are so many. They told me. So yeah, I said like great experience for me. I was able to play, obviously, like I play like 20 games, but still I was like maybe 21, 22 years old, and I remember like I was thinking, I said, yeah, money was good, everything was good, but I said I need more stable club, more stable league if I would like to develop in a way I wanted, that way.
For sure.
So Delas, Savio, these Polish guys in APOEL, Sorin in Anorthosis, a legend of Argentinian guy from Apollon in that time, Argentinian guy with the long hair. I cannot remember. He was a legend there, and it was really difficult. All those good strikers there, but great division. I think it that time was not easy to play in Cyprus. So
I think it might be talking about Sangoy. Sangoy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sangoy.
Yeah.
I was like a good player. He was like a really like a legend already then in Apollo. So yeah, for us every game was like derby. So there was no difference for me.
Imagine.
Like, yeah.
I can imagine.
So it was nice. It was nice.
Well, you mentioned the player that was at Energie Cottbus in Germany. That was Stathis Aloneftis.
Thank you.
The forward.
Forward
with
the tail.
Yeah. He was very good. Very good.
He was
well, for Cypriot football anyway. I think he had a spell in Greece, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Do you remember much about him in terms of his ability or what he did on the pitch?
He was quiet. He was already like, he came back, I think, home, maybe 33, 34 years old, but still on fire, I would say. Big professional. He was very like straightforward. He attacked the space well. He was good with the ball. That was really difficult to play against Omonoia. They have a like possession, but they were like really straightforward. I remember the guy from, I think he's from Cape Verde, Cafu. My God, he played like
I still speak to him. I still speak to him. I'll put him in touch with you. I think you would like to hear this.
I have some videos with him. He's the fastest guys in the world, I think, that time. And he play like right winger. I play left back. I'm a 195. I'm not at all fast. I would consider myself slow players, but it was difficult. But in that game, I was proud of myself because he didn't do so much damage to us. I was more I was focused on defense, of course. I didn't have so much place to go in front, some action, some movements, but it was good experience for me because playing left back in Cyprus in this kind of formation where we are always in defense, let's say, because we play against Omonoia, you cannot take a possession. Was really like fantastic experience for me. Later on, I didn't play so much left back. I think in Croatia, few games more when we needed, but I'm a central back. So it was a great experience for me that I could say, yeah, I play also left back.
But that game against Cafu, I think he was substituted. I think Oka came on. Yeah. So you did well for him to get substituted.
Because I have some old tapes in YouTube from Cyprus that I remember this game, and it was like Cafu, and I did some kind of tackling well against him, and I was proud. And this time I was play regular, and Tassos used me as a left back as long as John was out due to injury. Cafu was there, the guy from with the tail, you told the name, and these games are like really special. But those games was easiest to play because you don't have nothing to lose. You play in PEP, of course. You you would like to win, of course, but nobody will be so much disappointed if you lose against Omonoia or APOEL away. For us, the most important games was Doxa, Paralimni, Peja. That time Peja was either something like that team from the mountains. So that was much more difficult games for us. Aris played second division that time, so Alki,
Yeah, they don't exist anymore.
They don't exist anymore.
No, they folded. Yeah, in October, I think. Yeah, money problems as usual. But
Yeah, I'm crazy. I remember we play against Hermes 2 games in a cup, and they were leading the second division that time. But we play like 1-1 in there, well, with the away, and then 1-1 in Limassol. It was like tight. It was crazy game. They were like second division team, like give us so much problems, and I think we went out after the penalties. So it was crazy. I remember like every game there was like, I didn't have one game, so I could say, okay, this one would be a little bit easy for us. So this my experience from Cyprus. It was like so much intensity every game, every training as well. Like we train hard. There's like very hot. You have to train very early in the morning or late afternoon, and it was difficult, but great experience.
And when you were there, that's when APOEL started their dominance. I think they'd won the league the year before. And then after 2008, I think they won another 7 or 8 in a row. And that was masterminded by Jovanovic, a very respectable coach who, as you can see at the moment, he's doing well in Greece. Do you remember much about his time at APOEL while you were there?
Yeah, I remember actually, because he's from Serbia and from Croatia. Of course, we have a connection. When I used to play there, I spoke with him, and the second part of the season, as I told you, I play for Atromitos Geroskipu, and few last 3 games before the end of the championship, we played against APOEL away, and APOEL needed a victory against us, so they could confirm 3 games before the end. They could confirm they're the champions, and you can imagine what means that for the fans that time, coming Atromitos, and the stadium was full of they were orange supporters, right? If I'm right, they were all orange.
Yeah, that's the ultras. Yeah, so they wear orange. I think they wear orange because of the film Clockwork Orange, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's why they wear orange. Yeah.
I remember that APOEL has a yellow kit, but the fans were orange. That was for sure.
Yep.
And as I said, like they just wanted to win and to secure the first place. And I remember that was really difficult for us, and they really pushed from the first moment. I was unlucky goal, some deflection from our players, and 1-0 after like 7 minutes. And I was really already, because they are all the time on our half, and they just push. We defend, and then I watched, and it was penalty. And then I for them, and then I just turned and I see there I was like, only 12 minutes away. I said, oh, this is gonna be disaster, man. This is gonna be disaster. I'm gonna be in all history books in Swedish in Cypriot football. They missed the penalty, and that was a little bit easier for me. And then the I think the game ended 3-0 for APOEL, and I remember they celebrate a lot. I didn't think it was their first victory before, they won first time the title, and then they started to dominate, because the year I came, year before, Anorthosis won, and they play Champions
League. Yep.
But yeah, Ivanovic, Ivanovic.
Jovanovic?
Sorry, Ivan Jovanovic. Yeah, Ivan Jovanovic. very decent guy, very nice coach. He was so happy that I was there, only guy from Balkan in that team. He took me there, talked with me, wished me all the best. He started to remember his days when he was playing football in ex-Yugoslavia, and it was quite nice to speak with him. He told me, if anything you need, I'm here for you. So it was nice for the guy, young guy, came from Balkan, who didn't have any. I didn't have any teammates from Balkan. Usually, in every team in Cyprus has some Balkan gang, but I was on my own. It doesn't mean I felt lonely, because I have a great guys for Portugal, Spain and Brazil. But it was cool to speak with someone who could your language, your culture and mentality. So
Excellent.
I'm very happy for Coach Jovanovic, that he did well in Cyprus, and he's doing well in Greece as well.
Absolutely. Well, look, we've got the footballing side of things, and we've gone for close to, I mean, it's 45 minutes, bro. 45 minutes. So I'll tell you what, we always wrap up the show with some quick fire questions. Yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna fire away with these ones. Okay. So you went to Cyprus from Eastern Europe. What was the strangest thing you encountered when it came to Cyprus? Because we have a quote in Cyprus: "This is Cyprus." Whenever something happens and you can't explain it, this is Cyprus. This is why the show is called "This is Mappa," because Mappa means football in Cyprus. So, in terms of the strange things that you perhaps weren't used to, what did you see in Cyprus that made you think, this is Cyprus?
Well,
too many, huh?
many. I think driving a car there is like very very dangerous for me, especially because you drive
on the other side.
On the other side, like in English system, I said, shit, how I'm going to drive the car here, but I have to. Limassol is big. I have to go to training, and they give me car. That was like first like trauma from Cyprus.
Trauma.
Yeah, actually. And then I was like, for me, it was also like, nobody gives a shit if you're going out, what you eat, how you sleep, if you perform well. So we didn't have some kind of quarantines way, like you have to be home, you go to, okay, if we play a game away and it was like important for us, then we used to travel maybe day before, but nobody asks you what you do before that, when you're going to, but you need to have like self response for that. You need to be self responsible for your actions and for your behavior. And I think that was like a little bit strange for me, but on the other hand, it was like, cool, I can do what I want. If I'm professional, I'm going to do it well. But the performance on the pitch, of course, then you need to perform. If you don't sleep the whole night, you cannot perform. Some players can probably. And I remember we had like there is like an English system, like 1st of January we had a training, and of course 31st of January it's a new year, you would like to go out, and said, yeah, go out, but be on the pitch 10 o'clock. So we did it. I was like crazy from experience for me. Like we were outside in Limassol in some club, decent celebration, I would say, decent party, and then training 10 o'clock. All were there. I remember we shared the training pitch with APEL. Dusan Kerkez was before. He was also coming after the training. I'm still in contact with him. He's coach in Serbia.
He's doing very well. He's doing very well out there. Third place.
Great guy. Then I said, how you doing, man? Happy New Year. Do it. They already do it maybe 8:30 in the morning. So then after the training, we went to sleep, and then next day we play games against Doxa. I was the most professional that
of course you were. Of course you were.
Not always, but that day celebration, 31st of December to New Year, I think I didn't drink anything. I was there. I was with the team, and Many people did it. Drink up 2nd of January, game against Doxa in Nicosia. I was the worst. One of the worst. I'm honest. He scored. He scored. I was delayed. I did some really bad clearancing. Come exactly to the 2-0 halftime. I was the worst, and I said, "My God, look at Jorge, look at Rui. They were like celebrating. They were partying. They were the craziest, but they performed well. Look at me. I did everything. I was home first. I didn't drink, and I was shit." I said, "Yeah, sometimes this is football, my friend. You never know." So it was like great experience, and then Mappa is dangerous in that age for the young players.
See, you answered my question almost because I was going to ask you, what about the nightlife in Cyprus? Do you remember which clubs or bars that you went to specifically? Because I know Limassol has a few, but Ayanaba, different world.
Yeah, not. I don't remember the names, of course.
Brate, come on.
No, I don't remember the names in Limassol, but I remember some clubs. Then Brazilians took me, Paulo walked and
Basement, Rumors,
Basement, yes,
Titanic.
Yes. Rumors and Basement. Now I remember the name. Then yes, Ayanapa, we used to be there a few times, but I have to tell you, we were very professional there. We trained, we did our job. We were every time on the pitch on time. We performed well. We gave our best when was the game or training. So I can tell you, nice time. When we had a opportunity to go out to see what happened, we did it, but it was in appropriate time, in appropriate period. So there was any like you never see me day before the game outside or something like that.
Did you guys? I'm guessing you were there round about Easter as well. So the Easter period, and you know what they do in Cyprus, Xynobenti, they have a really big party in the streets and everything. What about the food in Cyprus? What was that like?
Yeah, I like Greek food. I always liked it. So I like meat.
No problem.
Then gyros.
Was there any food? Was there any food that you shouldn't have eaten in Cyprus? Because I know chef taliers are a little bit salty.
I don't know if I was dreaming about it or what was it. I don't know. I remember when we celebrate like APEP state division, and I was also on the party. Even although I was like in Anorthosis, I came back. They told me we eat something which is some kind of delicatessen in Sweden. It looks like a small bird. I'm not sure if it's
Mbelobulya. Oh my God!
I don't know.
You ain't those. It's illegal.
I was like, this kind of image is always in my. Guys, please. If anything else, I can do for you. I don't want to insult you to not eat the birds like this.
I don't blame you.
No,
I don't blame you. Bro, my mum used to tell me stories, right? When obviously her dad was alive. We're talking decades ago. And they used to put glue on the trees, and the birds used to fly down and stay on the branches. They get stuck, and they make. It's
crazy.
What?
Crazy. I live in Sweden now, thinking these kind of things happening here. Like, my friend, you are in prison yesterday.
Amazing. And this is why I like, talking about Cyprus to people that aren't from the island, because you could come from a country with similar culture and similar beliefs and everything, but Cyprus is always different with at least one thing. It's
an island. It must be special.
Did you ever go to the mountains? Did you ever go to the mountains like Doros?
I did. Yeah, it's like crazy experience as well. It's beautiful. I can imagine. They told me I used to hear stories about Famagusta, which kind of city was that. They call it like like Monte Carlo of the Eastern Mediterranean, and and beautiful island, beautiful people, very passionate people, similar we in Croatia. So I didn't feel like I'm a stranger there. I feel actually comfortable. I have like nice memories. As I told you, I'm still in contact with the people from Cyprus, in Kisonegris brothers, my ex-coach Tasos Kyriakou, and if you can imagine, I never been after that, even like a tourist. And now I'm talking with my wife and my daughter that Cyprus is our destination, where we're going to visit next time. So
nice.
Thank you that you remind me for those nice times for me, not just in terms of football, but in terms of life. As I told you, now I live in totally different environment, and in the system who is very different in football way. But of course, I remember only nice things from Cyprus in that time, both football and life.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Well, Boris, thank you ever so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hopefully we can do this again, because it's always a pleasure talking to you, mate. And just for the benefit of
next time we talk about Sweden.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. 100%. Well, that's it for that episode of This is Mappa, boys and girls. Don't forget to like, subscribe. We've got more shows coming your way. We've got big plans for next season. And just to give you a bit of a heads up, I'm already talking to Nea Salamina, which is a team in the UK. I think they're in the 6th tier at the moment. I'm actually meeting their head of youth at a wedding on Saturday. Tomorrow, my goodness. So hopefully we're going to have some plans to talk about Cypriot footballers, or should I say British Cypriot footballers, and give us a bit of an insight, a bit more exposure. So yeah, watch out for that. So we'll be back very, very soon, boys and girls. Thank you again for your time.